So there's a really big pile of old art in my room from when I was little till now. So let's go through it. First up is my elementary school era. And in this folder, nothing is put in order. So there's a big jump from around like 4th grade and when I was 4 years old. So please keep that in mind because some of the drawings look very out of place. But as you can see, I drew a lot of cute girls in pretty outfits and also the Banana Man comic. A lot of my inspiration for my drawings during this time was mainly from Dork Diaries and also from the comics I read and borrowed from my town library. Also, during this phase of this specific sketchbook, I was really into Ever After High, and also My Little Pony. And I really liked designing outfits because the show had a lot of pretty clothes, and the way they drew their limbs was really long. So I also wanted to start drawing really long limbs. Also, occasionally, I'll also draw a lot of still lifes, which is mainly because I used to go to an art class when I was in elementary school, and they made us draw a lot of still lifes, which I actually really hated. In this folder, I had a lot of artwork that I used as like a folder cover in elementary school, which I really was proud of. And yeah, I think some of them still look quite nice, especially the coloring. Just the concept is a little funny to look back on. Also, I was really into Gacha Life and like watching mini movies of Gacha Life OCs and stories on YouTube at this time. So a lot of the characters' hair or clothing is based on those Gacha Life mini movies. So in this sketchbook, I was really into storytime animation, especially on YouTube, and I made a lot of comics of like funny scenarios that I would think of in my head, or even just like my own story time comics or just random stuff like that. I also had a habit of writing the date on everything I drew, especially in the sketchbook. And yeah, it was a little weird, but it makes my job easier now. Also, in this page, I shouted out all of the YouTube storytime animators I liked. And here's another weird comic of me in like elementary school. In this sketchbook, I mainly drew a lot of Pokemon stuff since that was my main hyperfixation during this time, as well as a lot of like Gacha Life inspired OCs. Here's some art that I had in another folder. Oh, this one's actually quite nice. These finished pieces were mainly for my folder cover during elementary school. Oh, and those are my Sword Art Online OCs. During this time, I started getting really into anime and watching a lot of anime, so that came with a lot of fan art. You can see that really often in the sketchbook. I think that was when I first watched like Ouran High School Host Club and also Sword Art Online. I was really obsessed with Sword Art Online, even though I absolutely despise it now. I still think it helped me a lot with drawing and detailing and drawing characters, mainly because I came up with my own OCs to put into the anime / main storyline. Oh, and here I started using alcohol markers, which I think really helped with my coloring skills, because before this I still use crayons. But I mainly drew a lot of fan art, like Octonauts fan art, and just random characters. Oh, and this page was what I thought my life would be like if I became a YouTube storytime animator. But as you can see, I still mainly drew characters and a lot of gacha life fan art stuff. I was also quite into Love Nikki, so I drew a lot of cute outfits and characters, mainly girls. I didn't like drawing guys before like pandemic era. I remember in the sketchbook I drew a lot of fan art, mainly Miraculous Ladybug, Pokemon, Sword Art Online OCs. I actually feel like I drew my OCs more than the actual Sword Art Online characters. But yeah, I think I just really liked to draw people even then. And it was really fun because I got to use alcohol markers, even though they weren't the best quality and they constantly bled through the pages and I had no idea what I was doing. I remember it being really fun. Oh, and now it's time for the pandemic era art. So during the pandemic, I think it started when I was in 5th grade. So I was really just stuck at home all day, consuming YouTube and other content online, and that was when I really locked in with my drawing skills and like wanting to improve more. I mainly just really liked drawing. It was really fun for me, and I didn't mind like sitting at my desk for like several hours a day just drawing and making characters. Although I wouldn't say I'm very satisfied with how my art looks now, I feel like during this time, because I locked in so hard, I improved this much in like a short amount of time. So the main stuff I used while I was in like 5th grade to 6th grade was micron pens, colored pencils, alcohol markers, and like a mechanical pencil. As you can see, I drew a lot of Fruits Basket fan art, and that was like my main thing back then, since the reboot came out, and it was like my favorite show of all time. Some of these artworks were from a 30-day challenge I wanted to do, since I saw it a lot on YouTube, and I really wanted to be like those YouTubers who would post an entire sketchbook of their like Inktober spreads, but I could not survive past like day 8, So there's a lot of anime fan art, which is basically because I was stuck at home, so I just watched a lot of stuff to pass the time, and I drew fan art for it, like Snow White with the red hair, or making even more redesigns for my Sword Art Online OCs. So in this sketchbook, I remember I took a break in between because I thought the sketchbook quality was too good and my art quality was too bad. So I wanted to improve more before I started drawing in this sketchbook. But you can see there's a big jump in like my coloring skills, somewhere like in the middle. And I think that all of the like Pinterest pose practices I did back then were really beneficial. I was also into Tower of God, like the webtoon. I was really, really into Tower of God. And also Genshin. This is where I started getting into my Genshin phase, because I started playing the game in like September of 2020, like a month after the launch. And I just drew the characters for almost like 3 years straight until I eventually like burn out and quit. But it was really fun. Here I drew a lot of plants. I really like drawing plants. And more Genshin fan art. I feel like there's mostly Genshin fan art in here. Oh, and also Honeyworks. I'm still am really into Lip-X Lip. I think their character designs are really cool, and I like their songs. This red sketchbook is probably my favorite sketchbook just because of the amount of stuff I drew in it. I also improved a lot through it, I think, compared to the other sketchbooks I've used. But you can see a lot of fan art and more fan art that I drew in it. But I also did a lot of pose practices, like learning how to draw hands or learning how to pose characters properly. And also like making OCs outside of Sword Art Online. I mainly used Pinterest during this time. I didn't have any sort of social media other than YouTube. So I mainly like credit all of my art improvement to Pinterest. I also watched a lot of art YouTubers, such as like Rune Spirit Art. I really love her videos. She was probably the main like motivation for me to draw, because she would post like multiple times a week, and I would watch all of her videos while I drew. And yeah, she's like the major inspiration for me in like sketchbook drawing, or even like my Procreate drawings. Also, if you couldn't tell, I began to draw more guys. Wow. I think that anime and all of the other fandoms I started getting into was a major factor, because they helped me learn how to like properly stylize and draw in a way that I liked. This sketchbook was probably one of the last sketchbooks I finished, and that was like around 3 years ago, since I finished it in 7th grade, and I started it in like middle of 6th grade. So it has been a while. Mainly because high school is like draining me and I don't have time to draw, so I only draw on my tablet and draw finished stuff. But I miss looking through and flipping through the pages of a sketchbook. I do currently have one, which I will show at the end of this video, but it's not the same. I also had a big jump in improvement, I think, during like this part of the sketchbook. I feel like my characters started looking more realistic in proportions, and I would say that's a big thanks to Pinterest and the references they had, because I would base off my characters from actual people rather than like a stylized anime character. Not like using stylized anime characters is a bad thing, but I just liked more realistic proportions, because earlier my art did not look realistic at all, and it wasn't in the way that I liked it, so this helped a lot. And now here are some drawings from school. I drew most of these in 7th to 8th grade, and a lot of them are paintings, definitely, or like random doodles. I was also really into VTubers, especially in 7th grade. more paintings. These are from 8th grade. I was just like finally learning how to properly use watercolors and stuff. Tighnari fan art. Whoa. Paintings. These are really recent. Like, I think last summer, 2024. Wow. And this is some drawing class artwork. I do get sent to drawing class every week, except not this year because my drawing teacher quit. But that was where I mainly learned how to use graphites and values and all that realistic stuff. Recent sketchbook that I'm like only 5 pages in, and this is my current sketchbook. It's like a mini sketchbook because I kind of bought the wrong size, but it's pretty nice because I can bring it around really easily and I can draw in it at school without people coming up to me and asking me what I'm doing, because it's so small that it doesn't really look or take up much space, which I really like. As you can see, I still do really similar work to my past sketchbooks where I just collect references from Pinterest or I just draw fan art. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of how my sketch. Now for my digital stuff tour. So a lot of this stuff ranges from end of 5th grade to today. So you can see my Tower of God vase. You can see my OCs I designed in like 6th grade. My Genshin fan art, my Ensemble Stars folder. Whoa, I have not touched that in a long time. My Tears of Bemis folder. My VTuber folder, which only has like 2 stuff. But I remember going through this and my app kept crashing and it was so annoying, so I had to take the same recording 5 times so it would actually save. And yeah, my iPad is almost out of storage and the app will crash whenever I pick a new color, but it's okay. I can just deal with that for now. Most of the art I'm showing now is from like this year and fan art from this year. And yeah, if you want a full res, high quality version of my art, you can go to my Instagram at UYU_new, because it looks really bad here since I couldn't screen record anymore, and so I just had to whip out my phone and record from the tablet. Now that the recording is coming to an end, I hope everyone enjoyed looking at the various artworks I have and listening to me ramble. Thank you for watching.